Welcome to Loqate Partner Talks. I'm Eric Folsom. On today's episode, my colleague Vicki is speaking with our data quality partner, WinPure, and their customer, Green Vue. We'll be talking about what led them to Loqate and how they leverage Loqate's address verification to meet their desired business outcomes. Vicki, over to you.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. My name is Vicki, and I'm your host and moderator for today's Loqate Partner Talk. I'm excited to introduce our guests, our partner, Ben Cutler with WinPure, and his customer, David Sterling with Green Vue. At this point, I'll pass it over to Ben.
Thank you, Vicki. My name is Ben Cutler, and I work with WinPure. I'm one of our solutions specialists and account managers here at WinPure. I'm kind of a specialist in this field. I've been doing self-service data quality tools for about the last 6 years now. I'll go ahead and turn it over to David.
Thank you, Ben. This is David Sterling. I'm the founder of Green Vue. We focus on building custom consumer segmentation systems focused on the green economy. And I'm very happy to be here today, especially since we get to talk about data location and tools.
At this point, we'll move on to the interview. Let's start with Ben. Ben, you've worked with a couple different address verification solutions in the data management space. Tell me, why did you choose Loqate after all the other vendors that you evaluated?
Sure, thank you, Vicki. In my opinion, Loqate has better solutions, better data quality, better data coverage, better hit rates. It's very simple to use, it's cost effective, and you guys provide great support.
Oh, thank you so much. Let's pass the question over to David. So David, I understand your company is a consumer segmentation system that allows customers to identify their richest consumer data. Can you please share a specific use case from one of your customers that will kind of give us a good idea?
Sure. Thanks for the question. One of our clients is a major U.S. utility with locations across the U.S. And we use our data, our green data, to help them identify who are the most efficient, energy efficient customers. And so the data we provide them helps them to determine what's the appropriate message to send to each of their customers, so they can vary the message by how green the customer is.
That's great. So back to Ben. So Ben, how do you see Loqate global addressing adding value to your clean and match? I mean, I know that you've integrated our addressing into clean and match. So I'm just curious.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it, Vicki. So WinPure clients buy our software because our solutions are simple to use. They're built for big data. They're versatile. They're flexible. They're self-service. They're cost-effective, and they're trusted by their peers. In my opinion, the Loqate value proposition is very similar. The Loqate solution complements our offering with great coverage. And it really helps to make the data much more useful in very little time and requiring very little effort. So I think in terms of the value add, it's it's the final product, the data quality, it's the process efficiency, and ultimately the business outcomes.
Great. Thank you. So back to David. So David, I know that you're using the reverse geocode that we provide, into with the clean and match solution. So how has that technology been used for the reverse geocode for probabilistic matching?
Sure. It's actually it's a great use case, because what often happens, the utilities today are worried about cybersecurity. So they often are unable to release their address files. What they can release are the meter locations. And the meter locations are geocodes, longitudes, latitudes. So what often happens is we'll receive hundreds of thousands of longitudes and latitudes, and we're trying to identify just where are they. So we use the reverse geocoding that's built into the WinPure Clean and Match tool with the Loqate data. And what's really good about it is we also get a good sense of just how accurate that particular long lat combination is. But once we have a good idea where the address is, then we can bring in all kinds of other third-party data. But it begins by being able to reverse geocode.
That's great. So let me ask you, Ben, we know that data quality is a huge thing today, right? It's very, very important. What do you see the challenges today with respect to your data quality and the business outcomes with your customers?
Yeah, thank you, Vicki. So, I mean, I think just to summarize here, we're dealing with mountains of raw data requiring the right people, tools, and processes, and the clock is always ticking. In the use case that David just mentioned, the organization has the data, can't release it, so we've got kind of an issue of access. The organization can produce some other set of data, but again, it needs the right people, the right tools, and the right processes. And ultimately, the clock is always ticking. I think this is why it was a real good fit for everyone. Loqate provides the location tools to take that raw data and make it much more useful with very little effort. WinPure provides the tool to allow David then to take that raw data, convert lat long into a series of addresses using the WinPure Clean and Match tool, run through a series of simulations, probabilistic matching, essentially allowing him to match addresses and to do all of this very, very quickly, producing a useful set of data.
Yeah, that's really cool. So let me ask you, David, what was the determining factor with you choosing WinPure for the data quality solution?
Well, there really were a couple of reasons. One was because of the relationship with Loqate and providing the reverse geocoding data. But the second reason is when we tested the WinPure software, what we found to be most compelling about it is that the fuzzy matching routines, not only do they work well, but we had far fewer false positives and false negatives. And if you've ever done the nitty-gritty work with fuzzy matching, that is always a problem because some of the tools that are out there can yield lots of results that you can't use. So being able to filter through that was something that we found very helpful with the WinPure tool.
Yeah, it is a great tool. So David, let me ask you, how is the address verification used in deduplication, linking and matching, and enrichment activities?
So the way we use so by having the reverse geocoding and being able to match those particular data elements for where all we have is long lats and nothing else. Once we are able to do the reverse geocoding, identify an address, we now have access to literally hundreds upon hundreds of different data elements. And those data elements are ones that tell us everything about the demographics, the financials, the profile, the property profile, all kinds of different characteristics that we can take back to our clients, tells them more about their own customers, tells them which customers offer the best opportunities, which customers they can vary their different messages to.
Great. So Ben, do you want to add anything to that as well?
Yeah, in terms of how the address verification is used in like linking and matching and relationship discovery, we work with so many different organizations all across the world in different industries, different areas of business, and there's so many different use cases. But what is very, very common is that address and address parts are almost always used in the linkage and the matching. The addresses and the address parts are often primary attributes used for this kind of work. So you're essentially trying to match, a person or a company or a product or something along those lines. and you're often using these other attributes as a way to discover those relationships. And trying to match a city or a state when the field is blank or incomplete, or it hasn't been standardized, or isn't containing the right data, is not the right way to do it. So with the Loqate solution, we can take address data, essentially in any format, and make it much more useful very quickly.
Mm-hmm. I think it's great what you guys have done together, and the use case is really compelling. So just another question, David, what is your company doing to improve the aggregation and the organization and the cleanliness of the data to make it more valuable to your customers?
Yeah. One of the things we do is we work with a number of different data sets and data tools. And what we've seen over the years is that no one solution for any company, no matter how large that company is, or no matter how large the supplier is, no one solution will take care of everything that people need. And the beauty of both the Loqate data and the WinPure solution is we can mix and match it in with some other tools that we have. So we can create a far more accurate solution for our clients, but also a less costly one. And that is why we do it. And we've been doing this literally for decades. So we found that after looking at many of the other alternatives, that both of the two solutions we're talking about today seem to work extremely well.
Great. Well, thank you so much. And Ben and David, do you have any final thoughts that you want to wrap up with today?
David, I'll turn it first to you if you'd like.
I think that the key thing is we have seen location data evolve dramatically, especially over the last 20 years. It's had an enormous impact in what's going on in digital advertising because of geofencing and all the different, now when people do analytics, they almost have to do analytics three-dimensionally. You have to look at consumers in terms of who they are and where they live, but you also have to look at them in terms of where they are at a particular time of the day, because their profile varies depending on where they are, whether they're at work, whether they're at play, or whether they're at home. So anything that brings all of that type of information together is going to go a long way to helping marketers and analysts do the kind of work that they would like to be able to do.
Great. Ben?
Great. Well, thanks so much. I really just want to thank everyone, everyone from the team Loqate and to David Sterling as well. We appreciate the opportunity to work with you. We appreciate the opportunity to discuss these use cases, and we appreciate your business and your partnership. So a big thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben, and thank you, David, and thank you, audience, for joining us today for the Loqate Partner Talks. For more information about Loqate and our offerings with our partners, please go out to loqate.com/partners. Back to you.
Thanks, Vicki. Thank you for joining the Loqate Partner Talks. To learn more about our solutions and partner program, please visit us at loqate.com/partners.